It is its own reward. It helps us bring the vertical into this world. It helps us feel more peaceful. It's like the key to inner peace. I feel like it's the key, for me, it's the key to manifesting. It keeps me close to God. It keeps me close to what I want. So potent alone time. We're going to talk about the key to very, very potent alone time here. Do you love your alone time? I have a feeling you probably do, because I got a really good response on my frequency holder video, which probably means that a lot of my viewers are introverts, are frequency holders just like me. And even if you don't put me in a box either, so even if you don't identify that way, that's okay. This video will help you have a more potent alone time. So this is about, sometimes we have a love-hate relationship with our alone time. For me, I love being alone. I am an introvert. I love being alone. I can really look forward to it. But sometimes then when I get my alone time, my mind is not always my friend. You know, my mind can go to a lot of different places that I don't want it to go. So let's talk about how to have very potent alone time, the key, potent alone time. And I feel like if you get it with this, right? It is its own reward. It is its own reward. It helps us bring the vertical into this world. It helps us feel more peaceful. It's like the key to inner peace. I feel like it's the key, for me, it's the key to manifesting. It keeps me close to God. It keeps me close to what I want. So potent alone time. We're going to talk about the key to very, very potent alone time here. Just when I say it, you know, if you get it, you get it. It is its own reward. Okay, so my husband printed out, I had my husband print out my notes for me, and they are like way too small. So let's see what they say. Okay. So this is a quote by Blaise Pascal. He said that all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Isn't that possibly true? Like if you think about today, we could even add without technology today. So it is possible that all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And if we can all like learn how to have super potent, super blissful alone time, think about the shifts that that could make in the planet too. So blissful solitude. I heard the term, I think it was solitude, but not solitary. So what is the key? What is the key to blissful solitude, to potent alone time? This key that helps us feel peaceful, that is its own reward, but also helps us manifest. It's forgiveness. Of course, it's forgiveness. So we're going to talk about forgiveness today in a way that is not, so before you turn me off, please don't turn me off the minute I said forgiveness. We're going to talk about forgiveness today in a way that is not what the world sees. You know, we're going to talk about a different type of forgiveness, a more spiritual type of forgiveness, not like an I'm better than you spiritual type of forgiveness, but it's taken me a long time to understand how A Course in Miracles defines forgiveness. So we're going to talk about that today. But we're also going to compare it to like how Eckhart Tolle talks about forgiveness, how his definition of it in a class that I recently took with him, and also the Tao. Let's compare. Let's talk about all these different ways that all these traditions can get us to a place of forgiveness, and it feels so good to get to this place. And really, this is the key to freedom. It is the key to freedom. And when I say it's taken me a long time to understand how A Course in Miracles describes forgiveness, I don't even know if I'm there yet, but I'm much closer than I used to be. Okay, so let's first of all talk about, in a recent class that I took, and so this not only helps us have more potent alone time, it helps us just be more potent individuals. It helps us be in the world, you know, it helps us live more wholly. It helps us be more complete, or like realize that we are complete. Okay, so it's not just about alone time, but this is the key I have found to being alone and not being lonely, to being happy when I'm alone, and to really enjoying my alone time. Real quick, before we talk about the definition of forgiveness, let's talk about why we need to go here. Why are we even going to forgiveness? Well, where are the places our mind can go when we're alone? And this can happen in a meditation, this can happen anywhere, but especially when we're like looking forward to this alone time, and I found that my mind wants to distract me, right? Well, it brings us to the past a lot. And I feel like the older you get, you know, you have more past. The older you get in this world, obviously there is more past. There's more things to forgive. So it can go to the past. It can go to past regrets. It can go to things that maybe you think you should have done differently. It could go to, so this forgiveness is for ourselves and for others, for the world. It can go to things that we think other people wronged us for. So basically it's things that we think should have been different, you know, judgments of others. It can go to things that we think others should have done differently. It can go to future fears. So all of these things come up so we can release them, we can forgive them, and we can be whole. We can be in the present moment, wholly in the present moment. In this class that I'm taking with Eckhart Tolle, he talks about, the class is a new earth, bringing a new earth consciousness into the planet. But he talks about how picture that you are here right now and you have no past. Picture that you're just here. And it's kind of hard to do, but like you could sit in a meditation and do this. My mentor used to say to do this too. Picture you have no past. So picture that you just arrived like here and there is no past. There is no past. I mean, you can go to the past later. You still will have a past, but picture that you don't. And how does it feel to be you? How does it feel to be you without a past? And this is how you can kind of get in touch with your essence. This is how you can get in touch with the essence of you. Okay, so Eckhart Tolle defines forgiveness. We're going to the definitions of forgiveness. I got sidetracked. Eckhart Tolle defines forgiveness as true forgiveness recognizes that the causes of human suffering come from the unawakened state. So true forgiveness recognizes that the causes of human suffering come from the unawakened state. It almost reminds me of The Four Agreements, the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, like don't take anything personally. Forgiveness it recognizes that this is forgiveness of ourselves and others. And I know like more serious offenses obviously are harder to forgive, but we forgive so we can be free, so we can be wholly present, so we can get in touch with our own essence. So we're not attached to that thing anymore. So we forgive because we know that anything that caused suffering comes from the unconscious. And we forgive ourselves because anything that we did that goes against who we are, that came from our unconscious, and we forgive others. And the longer we live, there just are more forgiveness opportunities for ourselves and others. I do feel like life gets more peaceful. I mean, it has for me like calmer and more peaceful, but there are more things happen. So there are more forgiveness opportunities the longer we live. So we just recognize that true forgiveness, it just recognizes that it comes from the unconscious. This world kind of defines forgiveness slightly different than that, right? Like this is getting down to the point of, A Course in Miracles says, we forgive because it didn't even happen, and I'm not going to tell somebody that who's in the midst of a trauma or something that it didn't happen, but we forgive because nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God, because only love is real, because only loving actions are real. And that's what we want to put our attention on. And that's why we forgive, according to A Course in Miracles. It's not like I'm better than you, so I'm more spiritually involved, so I'm going to forgive this unforgivable offense. It doesn't. We're talking on different levels. We're talking on a spiritual level here. Okay, so that's how Eckhart Tolle says that true forgiveness recognizes the cause of human suffering comes from the unawakened state, and that A Course in Miracles describes forgiveness as it didn't basically recognizing that the same thing, recognizing that it's not real. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Love is letting go of fear. Gerald Jambalski, he wrote the book Love is Letting Go of Fear. It's really based on A Course in Miracles. And he talks about forgiveness as letting go of the past. So I think this is an opportunity to forgive ourselves, forgive others, forgive the world. I love this idea, just forgive the world. I also wrote this: we manifest a better life for ourselves and the world through blissful solitude. So we can get to this place of blissful solitude through forgiveness. So whatever comes up, we forgive it. And there's nothing we cannot forgive because we deserve it. We are worthy of it. We deserve to be in touch with our own essence. We deserve to be in touch with our own energy. We deserve blissful solitude. There's nothing we cannot forgive. And there's nothing that we cannot forgive ourselves for or others for. And there's nothing that we cannot release guilt about. Of Course in Miracles, the whole thing is about releasing guilt. Okay, so, and like I said, this makes us more potent manifestors. This makes us more potent individuals, more whole. Okay, let's talk about the Tao. I love this book, The Tao of Forgiveness. I mentioned this in another video that I was reading this book. So I want to read you a little thing from this book that will explain. I feel like I don't know if it explains it with words, but if you listen to the story and feel how you feel by the end of the story, and you will know how forgiveness feels. Hold on. Okay, so just listen to the story. It's a very short story. Stick with me to the end of it because you will understand how it feels, the feeling of forgiveness. I had to look up this word, how to pronounce it. It's called the sieve. Okay, so thoughts cannot contain forgiveness. And that's why I sometimes have a hard time. It's hard to discuss these terms. The things that I talk about, their words can't always express it. It has to be the experience of it. So if you listen to this story, you are going to experience how forgiveness feels. It's so cool. Okay. Please help me find forgiveness, begged the woman as she knelt before the Taoist master. I have so longed to be free of my guilt. I have prayed, sacrificed, and studied holy writings for many years, but nothing I do makes me feel better. Fill this with water, said the master, handing her a sieve and pointing to the river. The woman looked incredulously at the sieve. Master, she whined. I don't. Go, commanded the master. Do it. The woman scurried away to the riverbank and dipped the sieve into the water. The water ran out. She tried cupping one hand under the sieve, but still the water ran out. She tied her scarf around the sieve and managed to slow the water's escape, but still it ran out. Nothing she could do would keep the sieve filled with water. She returned to the master. Master, she cried, I cannot do it. No one can fill a sieve with water. So, the master replied, trying to find forgiveness with the small mind is the same. Give me the sieve. The master took the sieve and hurled it into the river, where it quickly sank to the bottom. Now, he said, it is filled. The woman instantly found the forgiveness she had sought. So in this book, they talk about the small mind. It's like the ego mind, the small mind, versus the Tao mind. Okay, so we go to the Tao mind, and that's where we find forgiveness. And the Tao cannot be described in words, right? For me, it feels more of an experience, right? So I like this too. This is a Tao mind meditation to get you in touch with the Tao mind. Blessing and peace to all in me who are disappointed. It's acknowledging that everything is you. Blessing and peace to all in me who are disappointed. Blessing and peace to all in me who feel they have disappointed others. I offer my expectations to my Tao mind. May they be used as gentle reminders, released quickly when necessary, modified gently when appropriate, and always serve the cause of compassion. I just think that's a beautiful ending to this video about potent time alone and how forgiveness gets us there. I do this because I feel like it makes us whole, and it gives us the opportunity to have this time alone, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, forgive the world. Go ahead and write below, I forgive the world, I forgive the world. Let's get this going so we can feel this. So here's to more potent alone time. I love making these videos for you. Please, if there's any topics you want me to cover or any questions you have, please write below. I would be happy to help you with whatever it is that you are dealing with. So please let me know. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more videos about this, about inner peace and bringing the vertical into this world. And I will see you next time. Peace and love.